We are live with the community. This is the Microsoft 365 and Power Platform Development Bi-Weekly Call. Today is May 9th. We are so excited to have you all here. Let's talk about our agenda for the day. We're going to get the latest updates on the community. We're going to be covering those slides pretty rapidly today, though, because a lot of folks are out, so we'll cover the highlights for you. We're going to talk about PNP.NET libraries, PowerShell. We're going to talk about Microsoft Teams Toolkit. And then we'll see some samples, script samples, Microsoft Teams samples, and Power Platform samples. And, of course, everybody's favorite time, picture time. Getting those fantastic faces ready for the camera. And then we've got two dynamic duo presentations of the day. Mohammed is going to cover automate SharePoint pages translation by leveraging Azure AI Translator service. And then Gift Warieta is going to cover building an estate passcode generator app with Power Apps and Power Automate. So first time presenter for Gift, by the way, everyone. So let's give him a little love and show him our appreciation. But first, let's talk about all these amazing resources that are available to each and every one of you for the low, low price of $0. We've got our Microsoft 365 and Power Platform community videos. Those are all available to you to learn from each other. We put all the calls in them, and we'll share links throughout the call. We've also got our LinkedIn group for discussions. That's a fantastic way to be able to get involved with the community there on LinkedIn. We've got a group and a company page where we let you know all the latest updates on our projects and the community calls. So definitely get involved there. And we've got a meetup group as well that you can be part of to get all those agenda items. We've got our open source projects and initiatives like CLI for Microsoft 365, PNP.js, and a variety of other projects. And of course, as I mentioned, those sample galleries, there are a plethora of them. And that means a lot, right, to all of us. So we want to thank you all for those that you are providing. I think well over 2,000 now. That's amazing. It is fantastic. And it covers a spectrum of technologies. Team samples, SPFX samples, Power Platform samples, which you'll hear a little bit about today from Kate, list formatting, all those warrior horses. Everybody loves them. And then, of course, you only need to remember one URL to get to all this goodness, and that is aka.ms/community/home. And you'll notice there on the right-hand side of that slide, it's looking a little different. How different? This different. We have got an updated site that is fantastic for everyone. Upcoming events, latest blog posts, all the community calls are there. We're going to be listing some more community calls, by the way. There's a little sneak preview for you, so be on the lookout for that. A huge shout out to Stefan Bauer and Hugo Bernier. They were the ones that put all this together with the help of the team. So we really are excited about this new site. It is mobile friendly, adds a cool collection of new features. Definitely go check it out. Now, you are on this call because you like us and you like community calls. Well, we got more for you. So definitely check this out. We've got our Tuesday calls. Now, this is a weekly call. It is the Microsoft 365 and Power Platform Microsoft Speakers call. It's every Tuesday, 8 a.m. Pacific time, and it's awesome because you get directly from the horse's mouth. The mothership will beam down the fantastic news about the technology to each and every one of us from those project managers, those program managers that are working on the technology that we use and love every single day. You're going to be able to interact, see what's going on, get involved. So definitely get that added to your calendar. Of course, our monthly Power Platform call, which is next week with a trio of first-time presenters as well. So we're excited for that. We've got our Office add-ins monthly call. And then, of course, our bi-weekly sibling calls. This is the one you're on right now, Microsoft 365 and Power Platform Community. And then, of course, our Viva Connections and SharePoint Framework. So definitely get those added to your calendar, and you can do that from our new site, right? Or you could go to aka.ms/community/calls, and you'll be able to download those individual ICS files, get them added to your calendar so you won't miss a single call. And as I mentioned, we've got that meetup you can go to as well, aka.ms/community/meetup, and that always has the agendas published each and every week for the following week, so you'll be prepared for that. Now, speaking of our Microsoft 365 and Power Platform weekly call with our Microsoft presenters. Next week, we're going to have one. Sam is going to be here talking about building Copilot feedback bot for collecting feedback from users. Simran is going to be here for M365 Search Connector and Power Platform. And then some crazy guy named David, I don't know about that guy. He'll be here talking about Power Platform and M365 animations, tips, and tricks. So we look forward to that call, 14th of May on Tuesday, 8 a.m. We know a lot of people will be at ECS, but this will be recorded, so you'll be able to catch up on it later on demand, right? We can just binge watch all of them over the weekend because I mean that's what I do. I don't know about y'all, but yeah. So okay, now you may be thinking I want to request to be on these calls. I would love to present. I got something cool. Or you may be thinking I don't know. I don't have anything cool to show. What I know, everyone knows. I promise you, they do not. So if you have anything cool that you've created, it could be utility scripts, it could be a sample, it could be a demo, it could be a project that you've worked on. Don't second guess thinking it has no value, because it does. And we want you to be empowered to show it off to everyone in the community, because we all get tunnel vision. There are times we're working on projects and it can be hard to see the landscape spectrum of what we can do with this technology. These calls provide that opportunity, and you can help someone else in the community. You can be empowered to help others see how they can use the technology in a different way than they've been using. And we will even help you. If you've never presented on the call and you want a buddy, let us know. We'll hook you up. We'll work together with you on creating the presentation, and then we'll even present with you. So we want to make sure that you feel confident and empowered and welcome, because everyone is welcome. So all you got to do, aka.ms/community/request/demo, link is in the chat, fill it out, we'll get back to you, and we will absolutely get you scheduled. All right, now sharing is caring. This is back. We are super, super excited. It is scheduled for May 20th, so it's the day before build, and we are going to be going over the samples contributor session. So what does that mean? That means these sessions are live. They are live, and we're going to walk you through how to do how to accomplish certain tasks. Now, this one is going to be on how to create a GitHub pull request. And you may be thinking, what is this hub of Gits? What is this request of pulls? I don't know anything about that. You are in a perfect spot, because that's what we're going to cover. These sessions are live, they're hands-on. We're going to walk you through in a live and active repository in GitHub. And if you don't even know what a repository is, come on in. We'll teach you about that too. And it is a safe space. That means we don't record anything. And you are free to ask any and all questions you want, because you may be thinking, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't ask that question. Does everybody know the answer to that question? I guarantee they don't, right? Because if we want to know, someone else wants to know. We're all always learning. So definitely get it on your calendar. You can go sign up at aka.ms/sharingiscaring. It is absolutely free. Hugo Bernier and I will be leading that session. And of course, we also have the maturity model practitioners. And again, we're working on some other sessions as well, office hours and such. So we're so grateful for your patience. We're so excited to bring this back and looking to scale it up even more. And I know a lot of folks have reached out to ask to help out, and we'll be getting with you here soon. So stay tuned for that. Now, once you have contributed to the community, we want to recognize you for all the amazing work that you are doing. How are we going to do that? We're going to do that with the Community Recognition Program. This is powered by Credly. Yes, that same Credly that you used to get badges for when you get certified. These are officially accredited badges, so that means that they are associated to you. You can have a profile of them. You can put them on your LinkedIn profile officially. You can share them on Twitter. Put them on your resume, add them to your blog, put them on the fridge. I know I do. The kids are proud of me, or so they tell me after I pay them. And they love it, right? And it's a great way to prove that you are making a difference in the community. Whether you are needing to show your managers or your clients that you are going the extra mile, this is one of those wonderful ways to do that. And it is absolutely free. All you got to do is opt in to ak.ms/community/recognition, and we will track all the work that you're doing in the community. And we've got some fun new ones coming up, by the way. We have often had things in the past like the Season of Getting, right? GITTING, Season of Getting during the end of the year, which is fun. We are now starting up a multiverse contributor, dun, 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 right? So what that means is as you contribute across multiple programs and projects, we will track those and we will give you additional badges just for having done that. So it's like a double dip. So it's fantastic. Definitely get opted in. We got over 1,000 now. And again, absolutely free. And we're going to be continuing this project indefinitely. Now, let's get into some project-specific updates. Let's talk about PNP.NET libraries. So PNP Framework version 1.15 is out, support for .NET 8. This is a great project, as well as PNP.NET Core version 1.12 is out. Bert is out right now, so he'll be back giving the updates on this in the future, but we still wanted to highlight and just show our appreciation. 57 billion requests in March 2024. How amazing. 57 billion. Right? I do the Dr. Evil pinky thing right now. You can't see me, but trust me, I'm doing it. It's awesome. So definitely get involved in that project and learn more. And then, of course, there's always PNP PowerShell, which is kind of like the OG PNP project, right? It is fantastic. It is absolutely inside of everything. So take advantage of it. It is one way to get access to all of that technology that we use within SharePoint and a variety of other Microsoft APIs. So many updates, improvements, and fixes, 15.7 million downloads, and 140 million commandlets executed per day. I know Gotham is doing a lot of great work. So some of the new stuff is a security update, improved PNP user profile property commandlet to better handle exceptions. This is a great way to get involved for all those that love PNP and PowerShell. We welcome each and every one of you. So check it out at the URL in your chat, and you can learn more. Now let's move on to Teams Toolkit as PNP PowerShell flies away. John Miller is here for us.
Thanks, David. Teams Toolkit 5.7 pre-release for VS Code is out, so you can create some API-based message extensions, and we have some auth support for that now too. And the test tool has some updates. You can run message extensions in there, so you can test without any accounts or having to set up really teams at all. So that's a great way to get started. And we're working on some new samples and templates for creating custom copilots, and also sideloading improvements, and thinking about how we can add new capabilities to your existing app as the top feedback point. So if you have feedback on that, I'd love to chat with you. There's a link down there, TTK chat, where you can schedule some time to talk to me directly. Check out the preview for VS as well. The 17.10 preview will be shipping soon, probably end of this month. So there's some new stuff in there for .NET developers, including our new TTK project, which helps you organize your .NET files into a single project, your Teams Toolkit files into a single project so you can focus on your .NET code. So happy to launch that as well. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you, John. Great stuff. All right, let's talk about script samples. I don't think Paul's here today, so we'll cover it for him. There are over 262 scenarios and 367 scripts. You may think, what are those? Well, script samples are a thing, a repository, a project, a program that we have where it includes all kinds of scripts, right? PowerShell scripts and CLI for Microsoft 365 scripts, utility scripts. This is a fantastic way to get involved, everybody, because we all have those utility scripts, no matter what they've been written in. Paul Bullock is the repository owner for this, and he's been maintaining this. Really great guy. Definitely get involved if you have any questions. He is fantastic and gets everyone involved in terms of contributing. We got some new scenarios. We've got a get or export an existing site structure in SharePoint Online tenant by Tobias, and then get sharing links within the tenant, and get folder item properties by Reshmi. So thank you both for those fantastic work. And again, we got a trio of new badges here in 2024, as you can see there. We've also got those for all our other projects as well. So reach out to Paul if you have any questions, or again, join that sharing is caring session if you're not familiar with GitHub, and we can get you see what I did there? Get you involved in everything. So definitely take advantage of that. It's another great way to be part of the community. Now let's move it over to Power Platform samples with Kate.
Yeah, hello everyone, and thank you very much, David. So we're excited to share with you today one new sample. But what is this sample? This is Power Platform blog updates crafted by Nati Tartletov. So do you feel ever lost in the sea of various blogs where product updates are published? Trying to keep up can be overwhelming, right? Well, this new solution by Nati simplifies everything with a Power Automate flow that gathers all the Power Platform product updates from the lead, organizes them neatly into an elegant email, and sends it right to your inbox. Now you can catch up on the latest updates with a cup of coffee while reading your weekly summary. It's super convenient, and I've personally imported this sample for myself. Yeah. So if you're excited, follow the link on this slide and find this sample and explore other samples as well and try them all. They are completely free and unmanaged, so you can use them, learn by them, get inspired by them, and moreover, you can share your own work. So let's grow together, and big thanks to Nati for this incredible sample. Back to you, David.
Awesome. You had me at coffee, by the way, Kate, so I definitely am in. Yeah, check it out. Great stuff, Nati. Thank you. All right, it is picture time. So let's get those fantastic faces showing up in the cameras, and Hugo, Vesa will take over.
It's completely understandable mixing me and Hugo.
I know, you get same hairstyle and everything.
Yeah,
I should have just called you David, right? I mean, like.
Yeah, that's true. We do get mixed so often as well. So
let's move on. All right, everybody, we are going to kick off our two dynamic duo presenters of the day. We're going to start with Mohammed, who is going to talk about automate SharePoint pages translation by leveraging Azure AI Translator service. So Mohammed, if you'd like to take on over the screen and kick it off.
Yeah, sure. Let me share my screen. So please let me know if you see my screen.
Yep, looks great. It's all yours.
Okay, great. So today I'm going to talk with you about translating SharePoint pages with Azure AI Translator service. But before I start, just a little bit about myself. My name is Mohammed, and I'm a Microsoft 365 SharePoint developer and technical lead at Atea Global Services. I enjoy contributing to the community and developing solutions for Teams and SharePoint Online. I also got some awesome badges from the community. You can find me on social channels like Twitter, LinkedIn, and if you have time, you can also have a look at my repos in GitHub. Recently, I started to blog some articles about Microsoft 365 and development stuff, so you can also check out my articles that I created in my blog at mohammedamer.com. The agenda for today is going to be about brief intro about the project that I created and how it works, and quick demo, and the fun part, which is exploring the code and the sample links. So having multilingual content accessible in SharePoint, as you know, becomes more critical than ever, and it helps having effective communication in today's globalized world. And I'm thrilled to present this demonstration showing case the transformative impact of multilingual content accessibility within SharePoint pages. The solution is so simple. Really, it's so simple. It's not complicated, and it seamlessly integrates SharePoint webhooks with Azure Functions and Azure Translator service by exemplifying how organizations can break down language barriers and enhance global collaboration within SharePoint environments. And as always, there are some prerequisites. The prerequisites are in the Azure portal level and in SharePoint level. In Azure portal level, we have to have Azure app registration in order for us to authenticate our requests to SharePoint. And second is provisioning Azure AI Translator service in Azure portal. I'm not going to deep dive into how we can create the Azure app registration and provisioning Azure AI Translator service, but I believe that you can find out how you can create the app registration and provision Azure AI Translator service. So SharePoint level. In SharePoint level, we have to create SharePoint webhook subscription in the SharePoint site that we are going to implement the multilingual pages translation. Second, in the SharePoint level is enabling translation feature in the SharePoint site. Then how it works. SharePoint webhooks allow SharePoint to trigger Azure function whenever new pages are added to site pages. then create translation pages. Azure function will create translation pages based on the translation languages that you enabled in the SharePoint. Subsequently, another Azure function will utilize Azure Translator service to handle the translations based on the translation languages that you enabled in SharePoint. And then it will update translation pages with the translation content. Let's go to our demo. So as I mentioned, I enabled a few languages in my site. The default language here is English. And I enabled Arabic language, Spanish, and Swedish. I don't know Spanish, I don't know Swedish, but let's see what the AI will give us. And for the sake of the demo, I will run the solution locally. So instead of creating the webhook, I will trigger the Azure function locally, and I'll show you how we can do that. Let's make sure first that the code is running. Yes, code is running. And then let's create new post. I will just go with the basic text. And one thing I didn't mention is that I added one site column with this name, automate translation, in order to trigger the translation when it's true. So whenever the automate translation is true, then after I will publish my post, then it will be translated. And at the end of the process, this column should be updated to be false. Then the page will not be translated again. And whenever you want to update the translation, you have to make this field true. It's true by default, then let's publish our post. And in the meanwhile, instead of having the webhook, I'm going to trigger the webhook locally. I mean, I will trigger the Azure function instead of triggering it using the webhook. Now we have created one page, and the Azure function will be triggered because, and here, as you see, it's triggered. It's running in the background, and first time the Azure function will be triggered, it will create a page for every language, a new translation page for every language. Let's see if it worked or not by refreshing this news post. It's still running, yes, because I set some debugger. Let's maybe disable debugger. Yeah. Okay, we have some errors, but let's see. Hopefully it will work. Yeah. Yeah. So as you see, when we created the page at the first time, we didn't have these languages. But now we have these languages, but seems that something went wrong for publishing the Spanish translation page after the translation. So this is the page that we just created, the English version. And let's check the translation of the other languages. First, let's go to Arabic language. As you see, it's translated by consuming the AI, Azure AI Translator service. What about Swedish? I don't know Swedish. If anyone knows Swedish, so he can maybe tell us if it translates properly or not. But of course, we can enhance the project and making sure that it translates perfectly. The Spanish version, so as I mentioned, something went wrong when it tried to translate the English to Spanish. I will check that and I will update the project and submit my changes to the project in GitHub. And before our call, I tried to create one news post and it went well at that time. And here is the Spanish translation of the English. I don't know Spanish, but yeah, maybe it's correct. So let's jump into the code. It's simple. So we have three main Azure functions. First one is events. And this events Azure function will be called when new page is created inside pages. And SharePoint webhooks will trigger this Azure function, sending us a payload of the new page that is created. Here, I'm just serializing the notification that we are receiving from the webhook and adding a message to another Azure function to handle and process the remaining functionality. The second Azure function that will receive this message is check changes. Why here I'm checking changes? Because when we create the news post at the first time, the news post will be like the source. It will create a source page. And if we have source page, then here I'm checking if we have recent pages created, then I'm using here the awesome PNP core to create the translated pages for the source page. So this line of code will create in my case, three versions of the source page: Arabic, Spanish, Swedish. And by creating these three pages, then it will trigger again because new pages have been created. So it will be triggered again. And here I'm getting the translated pages, and the newly created translated pages and looping through these pages and creating a model and passing the creating new message and passing the message to another Azure function to handle the translation of every page content. Then the translate pages Azure function will be triggered for every newly created translated page. So here, the main idea here is to check and get the content structure of every page. So in the SharePoint online provider, I am looping through every page, getting the text web parts and passing the text in every text web part to the translation language to translate it. But getting the page content structure based on a model here to have the full page content structure, then passing the source page content structure and the language that we are going to translate to. And the text translation provider will translate for us the content to the respective page, translation, sorry. And once we get the translation for the source page content structure, then we again update the page content structure with the same structure as it was. Then after that, we update the field that I mentioned a few minutes ago to automate the translation, update it with value false. Also here, there are some important configuration for the Azure Function app to run properly. Here is the SharePoint client ID and thumbprint, and also the same client ID and thumbprint in order to authenticate our requests to SharePoint and get results. And the Azure AI Translator key, endpoint, and the resource location and the API version. It's important for the translation service to run. If you would like to deep dive into the way how I'm translating the content, you can check my repo, checking the providers, SharePoint online provider and text translation provider. So yeah, this is a very quick overview about the project. And here you can find the sample code for my project, and soon I will publish an article about this project. So if you would like to collaborate with me, or if you have questions, so we can collaborate about enhancing the project. Thank you. Back to you, David.
Awesome stuff, Mohammed. Thank you so much. Really great that you came to share this with the community. A lot of moving pieces in this, but it's a really fantastic way to be able to see how they all work together.
Okay, thank you so much, David. I'm very honored to be to have this opportunity to talk about the Contoso Estate Passcode Generator app. So just a brief intro about myself. My name is Warieta Gift Ejoke. I'm a data analyst and also a business process automation expert. I must use this opportunity to also say I'm a Nigerian, proudly Nigerian, with great passion for solving business problems through providing strategies for unlocking business opportunities through data analysis and process automation solution. Currently, I'm the Senior Associate Business Performance and Analysis offline business at Flutterwave, a global payment company doing amazing things in the world. Just for our knowledge, I came forth in the 2022 Microsoft Power Africa Apps Challenge, where I built a 360-degree HR app called the IHR 360. And I enjoy learning, teaching, coding, and networking. Okay, so a little bit about the agenda. I'll be sharing with us what the business case all about, where I got the inspiration to build this app. I'll also be sharing with us the app features. Basically, there are about 4 major features within this app. The passcode generator, we have the passcode scanner, we have the WhatsApp share, we also have the visit statistics. And for us to be able to effectively use this application, I've created 3 basic roles. So we have the users, we have the security, and we have the admin. The users are the tenants. Then I'm going to give us a demo. So let's quickly get to the inspiration. So I stumbled on a post by one of my mentors called Olariwaju Oyinbrook some time ago in 2023, I think July 22 or so, where it talked about a challenge, an Ultimate Power Apps challenge for Contoso app. I'm going to share this link with us so that you can go through it. So the basic problem to be solved with this application is to actually reduce, the wait time people that want to visit estates, spend outside, before being checked in. So in Nigeria, for example, there are certain estates that if you go to and you want to visit someone that is a resident, you will need to put a call through. And putting a call through to that person you want to visit also means the resident also needs to reach out to the security to confirm that you are actually an expected guest. Okay, so the aim of this application is basically to cut that turnaround time, to just enable residents to be able to generate a passcode with their own app and share that code to the expected visitor, who in turn brings it to the security guard at the gate or the security post, which will later be scanned or verified if that visitor is actually being expected. Please confirm if you can still hear me. Hello, confirm, David, can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Hello,
we see your screen.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we see you and hear you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, so basically this passcode has been generated. It's just meant to be valid only for a day. So after that day that was generated, it becomes invalid. So even if the resident generates it about a minute to midnight, once it's past midnight, the passcode is off. So without bugging us with so much about the documentations that led to developing this app, I'll just go straight into the demo. Share this later with us. So this is how the application looks like. So every resident must have been onboarded in the application. Okay, so I'm going to be logging in as a resident. Okay, with my password, login. So while we do this demonstration, I'm going to also show us how it feels like even on the mobile phone, because we're looking at the web view. Okay, so this resident can see his profile, but the basic usage of this app for every user is either to change password, login passwords, or to generate a passcode. Okay, so I could change my password if I wish to do that. So let's quickly just go to generate the passcode. So it's just basic logic, simple logics used for generating a passcode. So the logic for the passcode is that it's going to contain random names, that is randomly generated through API, for that day, and it's also going to attach the street code of that resident. Okay, so it's a way to uniquely identify the resident. So let me just quickly click on the button. So once you generate a passcode, the logic used for this application is that you can only generate the passcode once, although this can be modified to enable a resident to generate as many times as possible. But for the sake of this demo, the resident can only generate this once a day. So when you generate the code, in addition to this code, you also have a QR code, which is also going to be generated. But unfortunately, it seems to be having a little network glitch. So it comes up instantly. Okay, so we can see it now. So immediately you generate the code, you have this. So by this implication, it means you can either share the code or you can share the QR code to wherever you want. Okay. So while we're at this point, let's assume this particular code has been shared with a visitor, okay, via WhatsApp. I'm not going to be able to use my system right now to share this via WhatsApp, but I'm going to also use my mobile phone to also demonstrate how it looks like. But let's assume a visitor has this code, and that visitor is at the security post right now. So the security want to ascertain if this code is genuine. So if this code is genuine, the visitor will be able to get entrance into the
Gift, you back?
Oh, yeah, I'm back. So sincere apologies.
No worries.
Having a little rough time with my network.
No worries.
Okay, so where I stopped was where I said, let's assume we have the estate security guy trying to check in a visitor. So we assume the visitor has been given this code or probably the QR code. So what happens at the gates, before that visitor is permitted to go visit? Yes, sorry, I was trying to unmute. So I just had to switch my network right now to ensure we can continue with this.
Okay, yeah, we got about 8 minutes left. Are you able? We could edit it in post, but if you feel confident in finishing it out, okay, great.
Yeah, so we can. So quickly, so I'm at the security post. So I'm going to log in, showing us through the mobile app. So we expect the security personnel to have this app, which is going to use to authenticate if that particular visitor actually got the right code. So you can see my screen. So what the security personnel can do is basically just to check in visitors and to see notification that has been broadcasted. So you have the option to use the passcode directly or to use the QR code. So I'm just going to use the QR code since we can see the QR code on the screen. So this is what the security guy will do and verify. So you can see access is granted to that particular visitor because that visitor is actually making use of the right code and had the legal right to come visit. So who is visiting? So we're not just creating the application to just make the process seamless, but we're also using it to gather data, for effective decision making. So I'll assume David is the visitor. So David is going to be checked in. So right now, David has been checked in successfully. Okay, so that is the security. So I'll quickly just show us the admin. So as an admin, what can you do? So just give me a moment. Okay, so if you can still see my screen, so this is an admin. So he also can do what the users do, but I'll just go quickly to admin. So the admin, you can also check in visitor. You can also check analysis of how visitors have been coming to that particular region. So this app is built on Power Automate, Power Apps. It also have the use of custom APIs, from Power Apps, building custom API, and also we have the Power BI, which is what is used for the reporting end. So right now we can see that we have one visitor that came in. So these are the major things that can be done. You can see the tenant. You can also see history of log, password of logs that was created in the application. You can also send information. So let me do a quick broadcast test. So when you send a broadcast, everyone is going to get that notification. So I'm going to do that broadcast. So it's asking me whether to send it or not. So the good thing about this is that the notification is going to come in two ways. You can have a notification on your mobile app. You could also have an email notification. So I'm going to quickly demonstrate that for us with the app showing on one part of the screen. So yes. So it's sending. Okay. So we had an error. Okay, if you look up, you can see the notification that there's a new message. So if I click on that, I can easily get to access the application. So I'll just quickly show us one of the things that is being set to enable security. So if you try to log in with a wrong password, you're going to be blocked, for a particular period, not to be able to gain entrance. Because of time, I'll not be able to demonstrate that, but quickly just show us the passcode. We used this earlier on to generate a passcode. So assuming I want to share via WhatsApp, which is one of the features, all I need to do is to click on share password, put in the country code. So irrespective of the location, all I need to do is just put the country code. So I'm going to just test this with my own personal mobile. And let's see. So send. So immediately it goes there, and you can see. So even if I don't have your number, so the good thing about this is even if I don't have your number, I can easily just put in your code and it automatically sends this to us. So basically, this is all that I want to share with us. And the key areas I think some people might be having challenge with is around the passcode generation. So the passcode generation, there are two legs. One is making use of the API, which I created, a custom API, which I created to get randomized words per day. And we also have the QR code. So the QR code has some logic, which I'll just share with us. You can look at my screen. So I'll just quickly. So the first thing, I created a global variable called random words, which took the first words that was created in the day from the custom API, which I tagged as random word.getWord. And the next thing, we got the street, remembering that it's a logic of street numbers. So the passcode is a combination of street code, house number, and random words. Then we also have the QR code. So the QR code was generated using an API from quickchat.io, because I've had a number of people reaching out asking me how that was created. If you're one of such persons, you can easily see that from my screen. So I don't know if there are other questions you may want me to answer, but generally, this is just what the app is all about. Quite a basic application. Thank you so much, David.
Thanks, Gift. Yeah, great. We were able to recover it. We'll edit it out and post. A wonderful job. Thank you for bringing this app to the community call and sharing it with everybody. Some questions in the chat. I'll let you review those a little bit later, but really, really great, wonderful job there. I appreciate all that you are doing. Thank you. And again, everybody, yep, thank you. This is Gift's first presentation on the community call, so really appreciate him and Mohammed very, very much. So thank you both for presenting today on the call. If you would like to get more involved in our community, we have our official Discord server. So we're with the cool kids now, aka.ms/community/discord. We have over actually 2,000 members now. So we should get Copilot to update that number there or something, right? I mean, like if we just said, dear Copilot, can you update that number? Wow, look at that. It happened. So cool. Very cool. It is absolutely free. We've got plenty of community members and team members in that server to ask and collaborate with. So don't hesitate to get involved. 100% free, aka.ms/community/Discord. And we would love to get your feedback. If you're liking these calls, then please let us know. If you don't like them, let us know what we could do to improve them. But these feedback surveys allow us to show our management that you appreciate the calls and want to continue to see investment in them. So we really appreciate it. Even if you've already filled it in, let us know we're still doing good. All right. And now the recording of this will be available in 24 hours on the Microsoft 365 and Power Platform Community YouTube channel. If you go subscribe today at aka.ms/community/videos, you will be alerted as soon as it drops. Now, if you're in the Teams chat and you see the recordings available, it's going to end in sadness if you're not a Microsoft employee and try to download it. So you go get subscribed to that YouTube channel and you will be alerted as soon as it drops. We will let you know from the social sphere as well. And you can also follow us on Twitter for updates at M365BNP or LinkedIn, aka.ms/community/LI. Our next M365 Power Platform bi-weekly call 2 weeks from today, May 23rd, 7 a.m. Pacific, and Viva Connections SharePoint Framework next week, May 16th at 7 a.m. Pacific time. Again, get all the invites at aka.ms/community/calls. Thank you, everybody, for joining today, and we appreciate everything that you're doing in the community. Have a wonderful rest of the week and a wonderful weekend. And for those at ECS next week, have a great conference.